It's 4 p.m. You turn down your colleague's birthday cake and, feeling virtuous, you grab your healthy snack, a zero yogurt with fruit. You congratulate yourself on your discipline. You are in control. So why, at 9 p.m., do you find yourself negotiating with a tub of ice cream as if your life depended on it? The truth is, your battle wasn't lost at night. It was lost the exact moment you ate that healthy yogurt. And I'm going to prove to you why. The battle against sugar cravings. You fight it every day with the discipline of a general, but you feel that most nights, you lose. And with every defeat comes the same silent sentence: I am weak. I know this sentence because I signed it myself for years, with my own blood and sweat. At the peak of my career, while I commanded multi-million-dollar projects, I was secretly a hostage to a sweet craving that sabotaged me. The result? My body declared bankruptcy with burnout and diagnoses of autoimmune diseases. It was in that ruin that I discovered that my weakness was, in fact, a symptom. I am the sovereign of vitality, and today, I have not come to give you more weapons for a fight you cannot win. I have come to give you a new battle map. The truth is that your fight is useless because you are fighting the wrong enemy. In this decree, we will expose the 3 true biochemical sources that feed your sugar cravings. Prepare to discover that the solution is not more willpower, but more intelligence. It's a voice that starts as a whisper, and by the end of the day becomes a scream that echoes in your head. The sugar craving. The daily battle you fight tooth and nail, and that most nights you feel you lose. And with each defeat comes the same sentence: I am weak, undisciplined, I have no willpower. You've tried everything to win this war. You drink more water, chew gum, try to distract yourself. You throw out all the sweets in your house in an act of bravery on Monday, only to find yourself buying a chocolate bar at the gas station on Wednesday, feeling like a fraud. I know this war because I was once its most decorated general, and also its most defeated. I believed the answer was more restriction, more discipline, more strength. Every no I said to a sweet treat during the day was just a loan of energy, and at night, the monster of craving came to collect the debt with very high interest. Today, I am here to give you your order of surrender, but it is not a surrender to defeat. It is a surrender to a stupid and ineffective strategy. The first decree to conquer the sugar craving is this: stop fighting it. Your fight is ironically what feeds it. Fighting a craving with willpower is like trying to dam a river with a wall of sand. The more sand you pile up, your discipline, the stronger the water pressure becomes, until the wall inevitably gives way, and the resulting flood is devastating. A sovereign does not build a wall of sand. She does not fight the force of the river. She travels to the source and diverts its course. The river of your craving has a source, and that source is not your weakness or your lack of character. The source is your biochemistry. Your uncontrollable craving for sugar is not a moral problem. It is a signal, a symptom that something in your system, your hormones, your gut, your sleep, is in deep imbalance. In this decree, I will not give you more weapons for your useless fight. I will give you the map to the source of the river. We will expose the 3 true causes behind your sugar craving, and I will give you the protocols to dry them up at the source. You are not addicted to sugar. You are just responding perfectly to the signals of desperation that your body is sending. The problem is not your craving, it's your interpretation of it. And the first cause, the most powerful source of this river of craving, has nothing to do with the sweet you ate last night. It has to do with how you started your day today. Let's unveil it now. The most powerful source of the river of your sugar craving, the root cause that defines whether your day will be a battle or a stroll, is your first meal. Your breakfast is the field where the war against sugar is won or lost before it even begins. The mistake 99% of women make, with the best of intentions, is to start the day with a meal rich in carbohydrates and sugars. The bowl of fit granola, the whole wheat bread with jam, the smoothie with only fruit. To your mind, it seems healthy. To your biochemistry, it's a declaration of war. This meal causes a rapid and violent spike in your blood sugar. To deal with this emergency, your body releases a wave of insulin, the hormone that removes sugar from the blood. The problem? Insulin often works too well, and the result is that 90 minutes later, your blood sugar plummets. This sharp drop is a panic signal to your brain. It doesn't understand diets. It understands survival. And for it, low blood sugar is a life-threatening risk. So it triggers its most potent alarm, a desperate, almost primitive craving for the fastest energy source available: sugar. You are not craving a sweet. Your brain is screaming for an emergency rescue to save you from the crisis your own breakfast created. It's a perfect self-sabotage cycle, where your morning effort to be healthy is the direct cause of your failure in the mid-afternoon. I lived in this cycle for years. I would drink my orange juice and eat my whole wheat toast, feeling virtuous. 2 hours later, I needed a coffee with sugar to be able to concentrate on the first meeting of the day. I didn't understand that my solution, the sugar, was just a patch for the problem I had created myself. The sovereign's strategy is not to fight the craving. It is to prevent it from being born. The decree is simple. Start your day with an anti-craving breakfast. The rule is one we already know. Your first meal should be rich in protein and healthy fat, with a minimum of carbohydrates. Think of eggs with avocado, full-fat Greek yogurt with nuts, a smoothie with protein powder. This combination keeps your blood sugar stable like a serene plane instead of a roller coaster. A brain that receives energy steadily has no reason to sound the panic alarm. By changing your first meal, you are not just eating. You are conducting a peace negotiation with your biochemistry. You are removing the root cause of the craving. You have traveled to the source of the river and diverted its course. Now that you have disarmed the main biochemical cause, let's move on to the second, one that is even more subtle. It is not on your plate, but in your glass, and it disguises itself as your nightly relaxation ritual. You've disarmed the morning sugar roller coaster. But there is a second source that feeds your craving, and it is even more treacherous because it disguises itself as a reward, as relief, as a treat you deserve. I'm talking about your nightly ritual, whether it's a glass of wine or your healthy dessert before bed. You get home exhausted, your mind still racing. That square of dark chocolate, which turns into the whole bar, that bowl of yogurt with honey, or even that glass of wine, they seem like the perfect decree to end the day. And in fact, they give you an initial feeling of pleasure and relaxation. The problem is what happens in your body hours later, while you sleep. Any of these rewards, rich in sugar, yes, alcohol is processed as sugar by the body, drastically disrupts your glucose levels during the night. Your body works overtime to manage this sugar, which often leads to a sharp drop in glucose in the middle of the night while you sleep. And what happens when your blood sugar drops? Your brain, even if you are sleeping, goes into panic mode. It interprets this drop as a threat and triggers the same emergency alarms that your breakfast with bread used to trigger. The result? You wake up the next day without even noticing the nightly crisis, already with a biochemical debt. Your brain wakes up with a single mission: to find the fastest possible source of energy to protect itself. It already wakes up craving sugar. Your nightly reward is what programs your battle for the next day. You eat your healthy sweet to relieve today's stress, without realizing that you are hiring the craving for more sweets as your enemy for tomorrow. I remember having nights when I didn't drink alcohol, but I ate a bowl of fruit with honey, thinking I was being the pinnacle of health. I would sleep for 8 hours, but wake up with an inexplicable fatigue and a fierce craving for carbs right in the morning. I never imagined the cause was that innocent, healthy reward. The sovereign's mindset is to understand that every act has a biochemical consequence. That nightly sweet is not good or bad, it is a transaction, and the price you pay for that momentary pleasure is an amplified sugar craving the next day. Understanding this mechanism already gives you power over your biochemistry. But what about the psychology, the habit, and that voice in your head that, even without hunger, says, "I deserve it," turning the sweet treat into a matter of personal justice? Your first tool to disarm this voice is the protocol of the true reward. The moment the craving comes, before giving in, pause, breathe, and ask yourself the question: is the reward I'm really seeking the taste, or is it the feeling of peace and permission? Just naming the real feeling already weakens the power of the autopilot. This protocol is your first act of sovereignty over your mind. But to deconstruct the belief system behind "I deserve it," to understand the triggers in your environment, and to install a new program that rewards you with power, not with sabotage, that is the complete war. For the sovereigns who understand that every night of self-sabotage is a day of low performance in their empire, and who can no longer afford to wait, I detail this mental reprogramming system in my guide, The End of Self-Sabotage. The link is in the first pinned comment. Now that we have disarmed the cause of breakfast and the nightly ritual, let's move on to the third and final source of craving. One that has nothing to do with what you eat or drink, but with the quality of your most precious asset, your sleep. The final battle against sugar cravings is not fought in the kitchen, but in your bedroom. The third and most silent source that feeds your compulsion is the poor quality of your most precious asset, your sleep. In our high-performance culture, sleeping little is almost a badge of honor. You sacrifice sleep to gain more productive hours, believing you are making a good deal. But the biochemical truth is that every hour of poor quality sleep you get is a direct investment in your sugar craving for the next day. Sleep is the period when your body undergoes its most important hormonal restructuring. It is during deep sleep that your hunger and satiety hormones, ghrelin and leptin, are rebalanced. A single poorly slept night is enough to completely disrupt this system. What happens the next day? Your levels of ghrelin, the hormone that screams, "I'm hungry," skyrocket. At the same time, your levels of leptin, the hormone that whispers, "I'm full," plummet. You wake up with your hormonal army in disarray, programmed to feel hungrier than usual. But it's not just hunger. A lack of quality sleep also affects the part of your brain responsible for decision-making, your prefrontal cortex, our executive CEO. It becomes tired, slow. And who takes command when the CEO is exhausted? The pleasure intern, who only has one solution for everything, the quickest and most energetic reward possible: sugar. I remember a phase in my life when I only slept 5 hours a night, proud of my discipline. During the day, I lived with a constant craving for bread, pasta, and sweets. I thought it was a character flaw of mine. The truth is, it was just my body, desperate for energy, trying to survive the poor management of its CEO. You are not craving a donut. You are, in fact, craving the rest you didn't get. Your body is using the sugar craving as an emergency signal for your exhaustion. It doesn't want the sweet. It wants the energy the sweet promises. Your first tool to dry up this source is the Sleep Sanctuary Protocol. 1 hour before bed, decree the end of screens. The blue light from your phone is a direct enemy of the production of melatonin, the hormone that governs deep sleep. Swap the infinite scroll for a physical book. Create a dark, quiet, and cool environment. Your sleep is not a luxury. It is your most important restructuring meeting of the day. Treat it with the seriousness it deserves. Now that you know the 3 sources of your craving, blood sugar instability, nightly rituals, and poor quality sleep, you have the map. If you are ready to stop fighting and start commanding, decree in the comments, "My peace is non-negotiable." The decree is made. The war against sugar cravings is not won with more willpower, but with more intelligence. You now understand that your fight was useless because you were fighting the symptom and not the cause. You have traveled to the source of the river. You have unveiled the 3 biochemical causes that feed your craving. The roller coaster of sugar that begins with your breakfast, the nightly reward ritual that disrupts your system, and the poor quality sleep that hijacks your decision-making ability. The ultimate goal is not just not eating the sweet. It is the freedom of not even thinking about it. It is to arrive at the end of the day feeling calm and satiated, and not in a battle against your own mind. It is having the power to choose your food for nourishment and pleasure, and not out of need and desperation. It is the peace that comes from a body in balance. The decree is made. If you have decided to abandon the wall of sand of willpower and start governing your own biochemistry, your journey begins now. Subscribing to this channel is your public declaration that your peace is no longer negotiable. Subscribe and activate notifications, because drying up the sources of craving is what gives you back control. But often, the craving is just a symptom of a larger disorder. In our next decree, we will give you the map to the real diagnosis. The topic is the 5 signs of hormonal imbalance you are ignoring. Your empire needs this intelligence.